My girlfriend's dad tested me at dinner, and it flipped the moment I answered in Japanese. May squeezed my hand as we walked into her family's Japanese restaurant for the first time. She'd warned me her parents were old school and might not approve of her dating a guy from Ohio. Just be yourself, she said, and don't take it personally if they're distant. I nodded, trying to look calm, even though my chest felt tight. What they didn't know was that I'd spent 3 years teaching English in rural Japan after college, and I'd lived with a host family who spoke almost no English. I didn't bring it up because people get weird the second you mention Japan, and I didn't want a big talk at the door. The place was beautiful in a quiet way. Wooden tables, paper lanterns, steam from bowls in the air, and the smell of miso and grilled fish. May's dad was behind the counter, slicing fish like it was nothing. When May introduced me, he barely looked up. Her mom bowed, polite but stiff, and said in careful English, "Welcome, please sit." As we sat down, I heard her uncle in the kitchen talking fast in Japanese. He said something like, "Another clueless American who thinks sushi comes from a gas station." I kept my face neutral and just smiled at May. Then it started. They poured me tea and watched my hands like they were waiting for me to mess up. They spoke Japanese around me like I was a chair. May's grandmother, small but sharp-eyed, passed tempura and said, "He sits like he's at a fast food place." Her teen cousin stared at my hands and muttered, "Soft hands. He's never worked a day." Another voice said, "He probably lives with his parents and plays games all day." I took a slow bite, nodded when someone asked me a simple question in English, and let it slide. May kept trying to pull me in. "Do you like the food?" she asked, watching my face. "It's amazing," I said, and I meant it. She smiled with relief and started talking about how her dad had worked on his ramen for years. From the kitchen, her dad grunted, then said something in Japanese that made my throat go tight. He told the family, "May is throwing away everything we taught her for a lazy foreigner. He'll leave when it gets hard." Her mom nodded sadly and said, "These American boys don't understand commitment or family honor." Her aunt added, "He can't even say her name right. He probably calls her May, like the month." May didn't catch any of it. She just kept smiling and translating little pieces, like this was normal dinner talk. My fork felt heavy in my hand, but I stayed quiet. I told myself, not yet. Let them show me who they are first. Halfway through the meal, the tension got worse. Her uncle leaned out of the kitchen, looked right at me, and said in English, "So, what do you do?" Before I could answer, he switched back to Japanese and joked, "He's going to say influencer or something." A couple people laughed. May frowned, not knowing why, and said, "Uncle, be nice." He waved her off and kept talking fast right away. I watched May's face, saw her trying to keep peace, and it made me even more careful. Then her little brother Kenji, maybe 8, knocked over the soy sauce. It splashed down his white school shirt and onto the floor. His eyes got huge, and then he started crying hard, like he knew he was in trouble. The adults didn't move right away. Someone hissed, "Be careful," and someone else argued about who should clean it. May had stepped into the bathroom, so Kenji was just standing there shaking. Without thinking, I slid off my seat, grabbed a stack of napkins, and knelt next to him. In fluent Japanese, I said, "Daijobu, Kenji-kun. Accidents happen. Even grown-ups spill things. Let's fix it together." Kenji blinked at me and sniffed, and I started blotting his shirt. The room went dead quiet so fast I could hear the kitchen fan. Chopsticks froze midair. Her grandmother's mouth actually dropped open. Somebody in the back dropped a plate, and it clattered loud. May came back and saw everyone staring. She looked at me like, "What did you do?" Her dad walked out from the kitchen, still holding his knife, and his voice was calm but sharp. In perfect English, he asked, "How long were you going to let us talk like that?" I stood up slowly, wiped my hands, and met his eyes without blinking. I didn't raise my voice, but I didn't smile either. I said, "I understood you the whole time, Yamamoto-san. Every word." Then I added the one sentence I'd been holding back. "I was hoping you'd judge me by what I do, not by where I'm from, but I won't sit here while you call your daughter foolish for caring about someone." No one moved. May turned red, looking from me to her parents, finally realizing what had been happening. Her mom covered her face with both hands like she wanted to disappear. Her uncle stared at his shoes. Her dad's jaw worked like he was chewing on the words. Then he set the knife down on the counter, reached under it, and tossed an apron at me. "Kitchen," he said. "Now, show me what you're really made of." Now her dad is saying I disrespected him first. Was I wrong?